Yo, what's up, friends? Welcome back to the local podcast. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Greensburg Video. That's my video and photography company located right here on Main Street in Greensburg. If you and your company are up for some fresh ideas and some engaging content, look no further than Greensburg Video. You can check out my work at gbgvideo.net or greensburgvideo.com. My portfolio is growing daily, so you can check that out. Shoot me a message, and we'll figure out a strategy for you. Speaking of advertising, you can do that for your business right here on the local podcast. If you're interested in that, hit me up at thelocal724.com. All right, Yins. Our guest today on the podcast was featured on the Today Show. She is Mindy Keegan, the owner of the Made for Mama shop. Let's do it. Welcome to the Local 724 podcast in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Local podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Hauser, co-hosting today. I'm very excited to have my wife riding shotgun with me, Jessi Hauser. How you doing?
I'm good.
Great. Mindy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Awesome. So if you could just kind of fill us in, tell us a little bit about your shop, the Made for Mama shop, and we'll start there.
Sure. So the Made for Mama shop was created last year in 2020, and basically it's just a shop to provide joy and inspiration to moms as they're waking up in the morning on a positive note, even amongst the chaos that you have sometimes around you.
Right. Yeah. the little ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
The little humans. So to spread that like positivity and stuff, what did you do? What did the Made for Mama shop do to do that?
Well, I hand letter designs and create coffee mugs, journals, affirmation cards, just with positive words, positive phrases and sayings. That way, when you wake up and have your cup of coffee, you can be reminded that, life is good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, just right in the morning, especially square one, you're starting with coffee. So I think that's a really great thing, to sit there and you get that time before they wake up or something, you're brewing your coffee, and that's how that starts. At least I think that's how that starts. I don't know. She wakes up earlier than I do.
He wakes up at
whatever time I want.
But I actually bought my first mug of yours when we went to Tennessee because it was super cute, and we were going to Tennessee in the fall, and I was like, I have to have it. I think it was Hello Pumpkin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got it for Instagram, and I was like, this is it. This is my Instagram picture with my coffee mug, and I'm loving it, and it's orange and it's fall. And and I've bought several mugs from you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
There's a new one every time I open up the dishwasher. I'm like, oh, hey, there's another.
Yeah. They're fun. They're fun little mugs. The little mini empowerment mugs I got for my boys for Valentine's Day. My older son, who's 14, he was like, thanks, but my little one, he's 8, and he's
drinks out of it all the time.
That's his cup. He read it. He was like, this is it. This is my cup, and I'm going to use it all the time. So
I love that.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fangirl.
I kind of groupie status here.
Yes,
but I really dig your mugs for sure.
Thank you.
So I guess tell us a little bit of how we went from the idea of making, positive affirmation coffee mugs to the point where you have a groupie sitting in the room right now. How did this all kind of blow up in your favor?
Well, I guess I I started on Instagram and just started connecting with people and really asking them what they want, what they need, what makes them happy in the morning. And I always ask for people's input. If I'm doing a new collection, what phrases they love or what sayings they want. And I'll always gift someone the mug, or the product that I make with their saying. And I just really like to get people involved in what I'm doing. So
that's really neat.
Yeah, it's fun. It makes it really fun.
Jess is going to start sending you all kinds of stuff.
I know. I love it.
If your DMs are blowing up, I'm real sorry.
It's fine.
But
I love it.
Feel free to just be like, yeah, no, that's not going to work.
It's not appropriate for a mug, Jessi.
Not this time. Yeah.
Not this time. But seriously, I follow you on Instagram, and when Jordan was like, sharing with me about your business and all that, I found it really interesting and amazing that in one short year or less than a year, at the point that you were on like the Today Show, like how does that happen? Like less than a year.
Well, I can tell you the story if you want to know.
Please.
How that happened. Okay. So, I launched my fall collection in August or September, and that's when things like really started to take off. And then, I had the holiday collection come out in October, and I was listening to a podcast, and I honestly don't remember which one it was, but they were just talking about being on the media and stuff. And I was like, oh, that would be really fun. It's something that I never really thought about or was really interested in, because I am kind of an introvert. Like, I like to be home and like just around people that I know. And so I was like, well, that'd be fun. So I started thinking about it. And then I got this email in September, and it was this lady, and she was saying that she wanted to feature my business on this like local ad campaign or something. And I would have the opportunity to possibly be in like a couple publications. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. So then she sent me these videos that I had to watch, and then I had to fill out all this information, and I just got like this weird feeling about it. And at the end of it, it was her trying to pitch me to pay for this stuff that doesn't guarantee even being seen.
Oh yeah.
She wanted like thousands of dollars. Oh, wow. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, that's embarrassing, because I thought that this was like my thing, So I was kind of mad, kind of embarrassed. And I'm someone that like those things don't really bother me too much, because I just like really let it fuel me. Like, okay, you want to mess with me? Like, just watch what I'm going to do here. So I started that night researching like, okay, how do I get featured on shows, or like, how do I get on TV? And, and I listened to a couple podcasts about it. And then I pitched myself to the Today Show. I found like a contact, and she said, I really like this idea, but we're booked through October or until November. So I'm like, okay. And she said, I'll follow up with you. So I said, okay. And I marked in my calendar, like on November 1st, follow up with this person.
Yeah.
I didn't think that she was actually going to do it. Well, then in mid-October, she sent me an email, and she said, we'd really like to talk to you about your business and what you're doing. And so she ended up hooking me up with these couple producers, and because of COVID, they're not sending people like to people's houses. So instead they needed like a ton of photos and videos and like a script and a voiceover and all this stuff. So, it was cool. And then it was very nerve wracking though, like leading those like few weeks leading up to it. I bet. Like, really nervous. And, honestly, I didn't really know what to expect from it, because I had some people tell me like, oh, I've been on one of those morning shows, but nothing happened. Like, they got no sales from it. And, I don't know. I guess people just connected with the story and the positivity. Like, I feel like people just really needed that at that point.
100%.
So it was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So cool. I will never forget it. I mean,
I feel like that definitely is like a story of 2020. I mean, like everybody was kind of, and you could feel that, that energy here just in Greensburg. You could feel that. It was just like, everyone was like, so hyper local and like buy local, shop local, eat local, do this, do that, like go out and walk around your neighborhood. We see people walking around the neighborhood now that like, I've never seen this many people walking around. It's just nuts. Like everybody's attitudes really changed like throughout this entire thing. And I mean, for the better, in my opinion. I think it's great. So were you doing creative things like your whole life?
Oh, no. I was working in the corporate world out of college for about 11 years. Yeah. So I had nothing creative happening. And I actually remember, I was thinking about this today. I remember being in a meeting with my previous boss, and she was like, where do you want to go, or what do you want to do? Because I kept, I was getting promoted. I was climbing the ladder and all the stuff I should have been doing, but I had none of that creativity. And I told her, like, I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I want to feel like I'm impacting people and I want to do something creative. And she goes, well, what department? And I'm like, I don't know, but like, this isn't it.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And, so then just like a few years later, I stumbled upon this and yeah.
So were you doing like sales or, I mean, we don't have to say who it was or anything.
No, I was working for a global HR firm.
Oh, okay.
So I was administering benefits for companies.
Yeah.
Yeah. All over the place.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's when you're in college and you sit there and you think about like, you have mom and dad asking like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
How's school going? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I said to my mom, I want to be a photographer or make videos. My mom was just like, all right, like let the kid do whatever he wants. He's going to do it anyway. Yeah. My dad, on the other hand, was just like, you can't do this. Like you're going to never make money.
Yeah.
And, I mean, my family, they build houses. They're construction guys. They're all like very talented and do all that stuff. I am like the only one in my family that can't not do shit. And it's hysterical because then I just like have to beat down the door of all my family and I'm like, hey, I need your help. But yeah. It's just, it's gotta be nerve wracking for a parent, you know?
Yeah. I feel like it's a lot different these days though.
For sure.
Like when I went for business to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And, I almost failed out of economics and my dad was like, do you want to keep going to college? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't think this is for me, this business thing, you know? And, so I switched to communications, but now it's like my kids are watching what I'm doing. So it's like opening up this whole new realm of like what's possible and you can do something on your own or start something. And I just think it's really powerful right now to be able to see. You know.
It really is. I mean, just the whole like entrepreneurial movement as a whole has just gotten stronger and stronger. And as we hit COVID, I think it's just like avalanche. Yeah. I mean, not even snowballed, but avalanche. Like everybody had to get creative and come up with a way to make money and support their friends and try and help them make money. So, you know, there's just ideas flowing like crazy. It's like Shark Tank. Yeah, it really is just like everyone's just like throwing ideas and people are doing what they want to do or what they've always wanted to.
It's so cool. Yeah.
And they love what they're doing, which is really cool.
Yeah. They're happy.
They're happy and that's cool. Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Fulfillment. Right. What? Yeah. That's a thing. Yeah.
I mean, I was in corporate for a long time and Jessi is in corporate and I've told everybody that's been on the show, it's like, you know, there's people that are built for that and they thrive in that environment. Yes. They like the stress. They like the deadlines. They love the rules and regulations and all of that. I do not. I am like, that's why I wake up whenever the hell I want. Yeah. You know, it is what it is. That was like one thing that I hated doing was like waking up at, 5 a.m. and driving to Pittsburgh every day. I hated it. So the first thing I wanted to do was just like, I'm going to sleep in if I want to. Yeah. And, I get my work done. And if I'm done for the day at 2:00, then I leave. Yeah. If I have to stay till 9 or 10 o'clock at night, then so be it. I mean, that's what it is. But, it's just, it's an amazing thing to run your own business. Yeah. And, I think it's awesome.
But for you, I mean, and the only reason I know this is not because I stalk you on Instagram, but I do follow you.
Starting to get a little creepy over here.
I do know that you have 2 little boys, right? You have 2, I don't know how old they are or anything like that, but I see you doing stuff with them on Instagram and, they're helping you pack up your boxes, which is really cool. And, you get to do what you love, you love to work doing. And I'm sure it's not a 9 to 5. It's hey, I'm going to put this aside so I can go play Hungry Hippo, and then at 9:00 I'm packing up and making mugs. Yes. So it's just like a different.
Yep. You work around your kids and around their schedules, especially when homeschooling was going on.
For sure.
But I mean, when I was still in the corporate world, I was leaving, like you said, Jordan, at 5 a.m. and I was getting home at 5:30. So I saw my kids for like 2 hours before bedtime every single day. And I just, there's other ways, if you don't want to live like that, there's other ways to do it. So.
Yeah. And was that you think pretty much that was your ticket out? It was the kids. It was I can't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was in network marketing. And so I left my corporate job to go all in with that. And then, at the end of 2019, I'm like, okay, this isn't really making me the money that I need. So something has to change.
Yeah.
And, a couple years before that, I was up in my youngest son's room with him. He was a baby. And I was thinking of things that I could do. And something just said, like, make coffee mugs. I just got gifted a Cricut. And I swear to you, it's just this weirdest thing. I just heard this voice say, like, you need to make coffee mugs. But it was true because I loved a good coffee mug, like those big mugs, you know, you can get them at Target. Not the same as mine.
Right. But, those mugs are awful compared to yours.
They're way less sturdy. Okay. And they break really easy. Right. But anyway, but I'd be buying them all the time. And I loved them because they had the words on them and like the, you know, the positive sayings. And then like a couple years down the road, I was just thinking like, what can I do? I kept like pushing that to the back. And then finally I'm like, I'm just going to try this with my Cricut. So I tried it and people bought it on Etsy. And then I was like, okay, I should do my own website. So then I did. And then just kept learning as I was going, really trial and error the whole time.
It's really neat to, you know, entrepreneurs kind of, everyone's just like, thinks that the entrepreneur is, when you look at Instagram anyway, it's you're traveling the globe in a private jet, hanging out in Tahiti and shit. And that's really not what it is. I mean, you have to learn not only how to wear every single hat in the world, but how to make that hat. And, you know, it's insane to do all of that stuff, like building websites. I mean, the other day I was just messing around with email signatures, and to code that stuff like HTML and stuff like that, I don't know how to do any of that.
Yeah.
But I watched some YouTube tutorials and by the end of the day, I had coded a thing in like a responsive email signature into my emails. And I just thought about it today because I was just like, that's crazy. I just taught myself how to do that in a day. And, you know, it's something that I needed to do. Now, if I had to do that all the time, then like of course, I'd lean on an expert for that. But, you know, just to do it myself, it would just, you have to kind of one up yourself every single day. It's wild.
Yeah.
So talking about your kids and stuff, like, what about your childhood? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a small town.
Yeah.
Less than 5,000 people? 4,100. Less than 5,000 people. There was there wasn't a stoplight. That was like a new thing when I was graduating high school. So it was a very small town, and it was fun, but it was small. Everyone knew everyone. And, it was a great place to grow up though. I had a lot of fun.
Were you in Pennsylvania?
Yeah. Kane. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Up by like the Kinzoo Dam or Bradford, Warren. No. It's a really pretty area.
Small town.
Very small town, up in the mountains, Allegheny.
Yeah, that's awesome. I grew up in Latrobe. It's kind of just like, I don't know, maybe a 4 stoplight town. And it just, it just seemed like, you know, it was always just so small. And, you know, you grew up in Derry.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they know what stoplights are still.
I don't think we have one. I honestly don't. Like, I don't know.
Not that anybody would follow the rules anyway.
I mean, we would just probably walk past it, but whatever.
It just always seemed like, you know, the small town vibe was kind of cool. You had to get creative, like when you were little, just to do anything, to have fun, or to, you know, I always kind of knew that I wanted to work for myself. I always had like a lemonade stand with my buddies, or like we were cutting grass or shoveling snow or something. And, you know, I always knew that when I had a manager come over and say like, what are you doing? Or you need to, it's 4:35, you know, like you still have 25 minutes of work. And I'm all right, man, like this isn't for me. I knew that from day one. And it just, you know, it's good to see that you took the chance in one of the most uncertain years in the history of the world.
Yeah.
And you did it. That's just so awesome. That's pretty amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. I can't even cut with scissors a straight line. So like the Cricut,
Right.
Jordan keeps wanting to buy me a Cricut. He's like, we gotta have a Cricut. You can do so many things. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't. I can buy so many things. Like that's where my mindset is. Like
Yeah.
I buy really cool things.
Yeah.
Off of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And businesses like yours, because that's what I like. And
How was the learning curve on the Cricut?
Honestly, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But like I couldn't find, so I started the hand lettering after that because I couldn't find the fonts that I really liked.
Right.
Like the style. And plus, it will peel off.
yeah.
Like it's bound to peel off at some point. So
So
Yeah.
you write. So the lettering on your cups is your writing.
that's my writing. Yeah.
Wow, that's you're really awesome writing.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
I mean,
you.
like, I don't know if, coming from like a design standpoint, like you're like going above and beyond here, like from really not doing like creative things at work to creating your own font, like on multiple levels is insane. Like that's wild.
That's awesome.
Like there's people that live in New York who are like, that's what they do their whole life is like create font.
Yeah.
It's impressive. I mean, like, it's so neat that, you kind of get this vibe of this is the saying and this is how I feel it would look. Like, how do you come up with what that font's going to look like?
Well, I have like a hand lettering style pretty much. And it's just, it's not my writing. Like my writing is like chicken scratch, but
Yeah.
it's like drawing letters. And it's funny because I always have done it. Like I used to do it for when I was a cheerleader to make signs for school, like high school. And then, when my kids were growing up, I would make them, like those birthday, chalkboards or whatever with their name and all. Like I always used to do this lettering stuff, but I didn't know that it was a thing. And I just kind of brainstorm some different phrases and then just draw it together and do it a few times to see like how I want it placed and what would look best or what word I really want to be like highlighted.
Yeah.
And and then I just pick a mug for it and I work with a manufacturer to have them printed now. So
That's so cool.
That is really
That's
neat.
so cool.
So you started on Etsy.
yes, I started on Etsy just with like a handful of Christmas mugs and that was with my Cricut
Okay.
in 2019.
And then are you still on Etsy or did you move to a different platform?
I'm still on Etsy, but I also have my own website and we're on Amazon too.
Oh, wow.
But you do other things other than mugs.
Oh, yeah.
She has like spoons.
Yeah. So I do hand stamped spoons.
Which are really cool. I've started looking at those already. Sorry, Jordan.
I bet we're going to have some.
But we're
I
gonna
bet I'll
have
see
some.
them
Send
soon.
you a couple.
Bet you're gonna have some spoons coming our way with really fun sayings. Happy birthday.
Yeah, I think it's really awesome. So like when you got your own website, I guess, and you had that marketing experience, did that really help you kind of start driving traffic to your site, or was it more kind of the explosion of like during the fall there when you started?
It was more, so I've never done ads or anything like that. So it was more just the social aspect, like Instagram, Facebook. I was used to doing those from the network marketing that I was on. So I was very familiar with how to connect with people and how to, share what I'm doing and in an authentic way. And so I think that is what people, appreciate about some brands when they're real and authentic.
Absolutely.
And so, I just connected with people and then sent them to my website from there. And that's kind of how things picked up on the website. Mm-hmm. But it was very slow. I mean, it was a slow start from like January through July. And then at the end of July is when I invested in a program for product businesses. And then that's when I started to learn about, profit margin and all of these things that I had no idea about. So, so that's when I kind of really was able to put myself out there more and like really start to run a business,
Great.
Yeah.
I mean,
like I understand that it probably seemed like forever, but 6 months.
Yeah.
is It's amazing.
It's like outstanding.
It's like awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I mean, it's so neat to hear like different stories from different entrepreneurs that are in here on the show and stuff. It's like, you know, everyone has such a different, you know, timeline and me, myself. I mean, geez, I wanted to go into business for myself like forever. Never felt comfortable doing it until 2017. And even though, you know, she was telling me to do it, my mom finally came around to the idea and was like, yeah, go ahead, quit your job. You know, again, my dad was like, nope, don't do this. It was weird. And like my timeline, I kind of just tell people like, I never really felt comfortable ever taking the leap until I had her support and I had like my mom's support, and kind of my dad was just like, look, if you're going to do it, then you have to put every single ounce of energy you have. Like he was trying to explain to me, like, this isn't a joke. Like you have to do that. And I'm like, I know, I understand.
Yeah.
And, you know, it worked out and it's working out now. You know what I mean? It takes a long time for some people, and some people it takes a shorter amount of time. But I think the work and everything involved that goes into it is not just a one-shot thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you like learned business while you were building a business. I mean, that's like,
it's intense. Most people wouldn't even do that.
yeah.
They might see like, hey, I'm making some profits. I'm making some money. This is a lot easier than, you know, everybody said it would be.
Yeah.
It's good for you that you did that and kind of like doubled down, you know, on yourself.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do things. For sure.
Lots of trial and error.
Oh yeah. And I mean, like, definitely what isn't.
Yeah.
But,
and you're going to fail. Like it's almost like you have to get used to failing too, you know, like, cause if you don't fail, you don't learn what's not working, and then you can't grow from there. So, you know, not that I love failing, but like I look at it, failure is a good thing because it always teaches you something.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely. What to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
It's like the easiest A/B test ever.
I know.
I was going to just ask, how'd you get hooked up in like at the Trendy Bunny, and like, how did that whole relationship, is that where you first started selling in this area? I mean, I'm going to be honest. I think I started following you or saw your cups from something that they posted. So, how did that whole thing happen?
So when I started doing that program that I told you guys about, part of it was wholesale and how to, like, what that even was. Like, I had no idea what that even was, or how to get my mugs into shops, or if I even wanted to do that.
Right.
So what I started doing was connecting with shops in the area. So like Trendy Bunny was one of them. They were one of the first. Simplicity Boutique. I don't know. Have you?
I work in Trafford. So,
Okay. Yeah.
So
she's awesome too. And so I just started messaging people, the shops, and just saying, hey, I'm Mindy. I make these mugs. I think that they would be a great fit for your boutique, you know, depending what it was. And obviously I only did that with shops that I thought would be a good fit. And then I just said, hey, can I swing by with a couple of them? Would you like to check them out? So they would message me back and say, yeah, come on by. So I would just bring my mugs. I would bring like a tote bag with like 6 different mugs.
That's awesome.
I mean,
Just like, hey,
I'm here. Here's my mugs. Here I am.
And that's another hat that you had to wear. I mean, like salesperson.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Terrifying.
I mean, I always thought about how terrifying it was to make like cold calls to people.
Oh yeah.
It was the worst thing in the world. And at that point, like, you couldn't just jump on Facebook or Instagram and be like, hey, what's up? Test the waters a little bit before you made that phone call. And now it's honestly like, it's something that's just so ingrained in me that like, I don't mind calling anybody. Like, I emailed you and I was like, hey, can we jump on the phone real quick?
Yeah.
Like, I just like to talk on the phone, feel out the situation, and just say like, hey, you know, are you interested in this?
Yeah.
Dip a toe in the water, you know? It's so, I mean, it's cool though, because you're the expert on everything that you have. So you show up and they can see that, you know, you didn't send a salesperson out to sell your product. That was you. You brought the stuff there, pulled it out, presented it. obviously sold it to them.
Yeah.
So that's really awesome.
Really cool.
You're in 25 different stores?
Yeah, 25-ish around the country.
Smokes.
Around the country in like 6 months.
Yeah.
That's she's like, wait, let me think about this. Yes.
Approximately.
That's like so cool.
It's amazing. I mean, I was on your site the last couple of days, just kind of like reading around and seeing things, and you see this little ticker that comes up at the bottom that says like when you sold a mug last and where it was, and I was like, oh my God, this thing just is going forever.
Yeah.
Like you're selling mugs like it's your job.
Well, it is.
Right? Yeah. That's awesome. Talk to me a little bit about was the Boss podcast? Was that the podcast that you were listening to, or is that something that you were on?
The Product Boss?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I was on their podcast the beginning of the year, and they are like, they've really been my mentors throughout this whole thing.
Oh, cool.
So they're amazing. Yeah.
That's really awesome. I've never heard of the podcast, but like, what is it that they do? Or are they just like business centric?
They both have their own businesses that they've built up, product businesses. And so now they mentor other product bosses of how to start, where to start, how to lay a good foundation, how to get yourself out there. Like they teach you all those things.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's really neat.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's awesome. Is this something that you imagined that you would be doing like when you were like 15 years old?
Oh God, no.
No. What did you imagine you'd be doing when you were 15?
Oh, I had no idea. I honestly didn't know. Like I never really had a path. When I was very young, I wanted to be a hairdresser, and I had my own shop. Mindy's Miracles is what it was going to be called.
Nice.
And then I would, do like random stuff, like sell baggies of pretzels from the kitchen to the neighbors and stuff.
wow.
So I feel like I always had a touch of the entrepreneur thing in me, but I never really knew what it was, or that was like a thing.
Door-to-door salesman. It was there from the beginning.
So yeah, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I went to school for business thinking that's broad enough. And then that wasn't a very good idea at the time. And all my courses were at like 8 a.m., my business ones. So it was not a good thing.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, then I switched to communications because I figured PR, stuff like that I was into. And then, no, I never dreamed of having my own business or doing anything like this.
Yeah. One thing that like I always kind of give the nod to is the fact that I didn't love corporate, but I think working in that environment really taught me a lot of things about what I do now. So I really did love it. Like looking back on it, I didn't like all the rules and everything like that, but I really did enjoy kind of the lessons that I learned about it, and, how to treat customers and, your integrity. If you're passing off something that, someone is going to, or that your name's attached to, it's got to be absolutely perfect, or people are going to, feel some way about it and then feel some way about you.
Yeah. I agree. I'm so thankful for the experience and like where I used to work and the people I worked with. And, it was good lessons there.
For sure.
I wanted to know if your little boys ever come to you and say, like, can you put this on a mug? Like, have you ever made like something for them that they want to, like, I don't know, Spider-Man's awesome. I don't know, like whatever.
The only thing is Wyatt is my older one. He's 7 now, and he wanted a water bottle with his name on it for baseball. So I did that with my cricket.
Yeah.
But other than that, not really. They're really excited when I show them the new mini mugs, though, like the new ones, the white ones with the Brave and the words on it.
Yeah.
They love those.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I like those. My little boy likes those too.
Yeah. Oh.
So yeah. I was just going to ask, so you have spoons, you have mugs. What other products do you specialize in?
So I have gratitude journals, affirmation cards, coffee I sell to go with the mugs, coasters, and that's pretty much what it's been narrowed down to.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, that's a great little collection of things, I think, that are all just like, you know, in a nice like niche, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really...
I think it's nice. Like, how do you, with all of that stuff, are you just a one man band? Is that one woman band?
I have one person that works for me now doing fulfillment, and she's also going to help me do some of the spoons and then some of the new coasters we have coming out, because we're stamping those now too. But other than that, it's me.
Yeah. I mean, you're busy. You're the one doing the
Yes.
hand lettering and all that.
Yeah.
So like, how do you focus on, I guess, like moving forward and making more progress and taking everything up to the next level? No sleep?
No sleep. I do it all when my kids go to bed because it's the only quiet time I have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't stop thinking about ideas. Like, it's just always in my head. I'm always thinking about it. I'm always thinking about like what's coming next, or like I'm already thinking about the fall, even though I have nothing done for the summer yet.
Yeah.
It's just like,
that's good.
you know,
That's kind of like a retail mindset.
Yeah,
you know,
it
you're
is.
kind of like a season ahead.
Yeah. I just always have ideas, and just listening to like my customers and, you know, what they want. So
What's what activity do you do, or when do you think that, you know, kind of gets you the most creative? Is it like maybe when you wake up in the morning and you do brew your first cup of coffee before everybody's up? Like, is that when your gears start turning, or is it at nighttime when you're like laying in bed?
Well, I don't wake up before the kids.
Oh, okay.
So I have that craziness around me.
They come and wake you up.
The morning is not my most relaxing, creative time. It's most of the time when they go to bed. I'll just have a glass of wine and
Nice.
like put a show on, like HGTV. I don't know if you guys are into it.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, we're like...
That's kind of what we do.
We like houses and stuff.
Yeah, so I put that on. I don't know why. It's because I think it's just because like all of their ideas and what they do, and they're designing stuff, and then I get into this mode, and you know, after a glass of wine, I'm like, oh, that's a great idea.
I can do that. Yeah. I think that started to happen with us. I took a floor scraper to the plaster in our attic after getting some ideas from HGTV. So now we're in the midst of hiring a professional to finish all that out.
Finish that. Fix that right up.
Yep. I told him, I said, I can do like demo work, but we're going to need somebody to come and fix it up. So what distracts you the most every day then?
Oh gosh. I mean, I don't really think I have distractions. I think it's just priorities.
Yeah.
You know? So if I have, Tanner's 4, so if he's with me for the whole day, or if he goes to like my dad's house for the morning or whatever, I know that I can work that morning. So it's just, it's hard to do things with him there because I want to give him my full attention. So I think it's more just about priorities and what I can do when.
Yeah. It's real tough. Like I'm finding out that social media is really hard for me. Jess has been like, it's like a sore spot with me. Like, you know, we're sitting on the couch or something and she's like, hey, did you make a post for the local, or did you make a post for the video company? And I'm like, no. And she's like, well, when are you going to do that? And I'm like, not right now. So it's just like, it's really hard. Like, I know that she's trying to like help me out and stuff, but at the same time, it's just, I'm fixated on these projects and then the podcast and then this and that. And social media used to be something that I really wanted to do. Like I would do it all the time.
Yeah.
And then I just found myself trying too hard to like so I ended up hiring somebody to do it and it's fantastic. She is awesome. She just made your post.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's
cool.
awesome. I think you do have to like get to a point where you figure out what you do like and what you don't like, and what you don't like to do, find someone else to do that stuff.
Right.
Because you can't do it all, you know?
I always thought that was the fun part. I was like,
The social media.
Sharing stuff. I was always just kind of like, oh man, this is awesome. I get to share and then quickly it just was like, whoa, I don't have time for this. You know, especially taking care of 2 different accounts and things like that. And yeah.
She doesn't have any time to do it. I asked her, I was like, do you want to do this? And she was like,
I'm like, no, I want to tell you what to do. That's what I'm good at.
she is good at it.
I'm a good boss. I'll tell you what you need to do.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. You need that too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. After I left the corporate world, sure.
Hi, I'm your new manager.
Micromanager.
I'm your wife manager.
So I mean, everything seems to be, going really well for you. And, that's awesome. I'm really happy for you. Obviously, Jess is very happy for you.
Keep them coming. I actually just ordered, I didn't just order. I ordered a little bit ago a birthday present for somebody because I thought they could use your really cute mug, the blue one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I really like that one.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. I was going to say everything's going like really well. And, if you had attained all of your life goals, like tomorrow, you became like multi-millionaire coffee cup mogul. What would you do next? Would you keep doing this or are you chilling out?
I don't know. I think I would keep doing it because what else would I do?
Right? That's honestly became something that I learned once I started my businesses. Were just I think when you're in the environment of working for somebody else, you're looking at how can I get out of this? How can I stop doing this? And this is something that, you want to do so bad that even if you were blessed to win the lottery or something like that, I wouldn't stop doing any of this. I would be super happy to do it.
Yeah.
Might be less frequent and from a beach somewhere, but I would still do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think it's so important because you love what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
you love it.
Yeah.
This is what you
I know.
want to do.
And all the connections and then what?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You spent all this time doing it. So you're just
Yeah.
going to keep on doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's great.
I'm looking forward to all the seasons coming.
Oh, thank you.
I think it'll be
Jordan
cool.
will have to take me places so I can bring my cups.
Yeah. Get some good photos.
Yeah.
Send them to me.
Okay.
I think actually we did. I'm going to look through some stuff and I'll send it your way, but I'm pretty sure we did some
We did. I'm not embarrassed.
shooting down in Tennessee. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not embarrassed about my
The love of mugs.
The love of mugs.
It's a real thing. I
is a
feel
real thing.
if you have a mug obsession, you really love mugs.
Okay, so let's be real. The friends started it. Everybody wanted a Central Perk mug.
Yeah.
Just everybody imagined everybody hanging out on a couch, drinking out of this great big mug, and it just that's
right.
where it started. I feel like so it's just
know.
grown.
Yeah. My husband actually banned me from buying any more mugs too. So I'm like, okay, I'll just make them.
I'll make my own.
I will show you. I will one up.
Now he has thousands of them in the garage.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
That's
Does he
awesome.
help you come up with any sayings? Are you guys? No. She's like, no. Yeah.
He, I will give him credit because he did come up with the part of our logo, which is the happy hearts, the three little hearts that match my tattoo here.
Yeah.
That was his idea.
That's awesome.
Well, that's
So
nice.
I'll give him that.
Okay.
There you go. That's what you get.
That's what you get.
Awesome. Well, I'm really happy that everything's working out for you. I really hope that, everything continues to just go amazing for you. And obviously you have some lifelong customers here sitting in this room. So yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah. Do you have addresses for your social media accounts, places where people can find you, website?
Yeah, everything is Made for Mama Shop. So Instagram is at Made for Mama Shop. My website is madeformamashop.com. I'm on Pinterest and Facebook. All
Awesome.
Made for Mama Shop.
Great.
Yeah.
Consistency is key.
Yeah, for sure.
There it is. Awesome. All right, Mindy, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. I hope you had a good time.
I did. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm waving bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, there she goes. Mindy Keegan, the owner of the Made for Mama Shop. You can find her everywhere on the internet at Made for Mama Shop. Like I said, consistency is key. And you can also check those links out down in the show description. Very awesome show. I really, really felt inspired afterwards. whatever your motivations are, just take that leap and you'll be pretty happy that you did. I hope you guys enjoyed this show, and we'll see you next week.